And I know you just want to be left alone. Snip, I just want to go to work today, get a few news clips, see what's going on. Thanks for your videos. But that's it. No. Today, you're getting a fourth one shoved down your throat. Remember the first video I did about the housing and the massive foreclosures all over the damn screen, the blue dots everywhere on Zillow? It's out of control. I'm looking at something here at Zero Hedge that I'm seeing the club may just could use, I should say, as an excuse. My housing market went down because of Trump. Well, no. CJ Snip 4's video about the massive collapse in housing right now with the massive blue dots all over the place. Blue dots on Zillow represent foreclosures and auctions. Auctions only happen because of foreclosures. And the red dots represent a poor sap that actually owns the house and is trying to sell. So, having said that, the club could have the housing crash come and then say, well, it was Trump. Trump's immigration ban caused this housing crash. And I thought, good one, Zero Hedge, good one. They could use that as an excuse. Could Trump's immigration ban cause another housing crash? How important are immigrants to the U.S. housing market? At least according to a University of Washington economist, Mr. Jacob Vigdor, they could own roughly 12.5% of the housing stock in the U.S., worth about $3.7 trillion in aggregate. And here's the math. There are roughly 320 million people in the U.S. and 125 million houses, or about 2.5 people per household. Since there are 40 million immigrants living in the U.S., that implies they could own around, keep in mind, could own, we don't know, but could own around 16 million homes. Using an average home price of $225K would imply an aggregate household value of $3.7 trillion for immigrant families alone. And Bloomberg says, fueling housing demand, immigrants replace baby boomers retiring from the labor force, according to the University of Washington economist Jacob Vigdor. So it's the immigrants replacing baby boomers, not other Americans, right? Jacob, you're killing me. By his reckoning, the country's 40 million immigrants add $3.7 trillion to total housing wealth. In Houston's home county, the newcomers boosted the value of the typical home by $25,000 during the decade ended in 2010. Between 2015 and 2065, according to a Pew Research projection, future immigrants and their descendants will account for 88% of the U.S. population increase, or 103 million people. The question, of course, is whether or not Trump's immigration crackdown on both illegal immigrants and H-1B visa holders, both, by the way, are a Webbot hit, will reduce demand from immigrant families to such an extent that it actually drives down home prices. In San Francisco, an Indian software engineer, that's hard to believe, on a work permit, also hard to believe, canceled plans to bid on a $900,000 home. In Washington, a Brazilian nonprofit executive passed on a fixer-upper near her office. And in Mesa, Arizona, a 24-year-old son of an undocumented Mexican immigrant won the trust of a bank a green light for a mortgage, but now fears deportation. President Donald Trump's immigration policies threaten to crack a foundation on the American economy. The residential real estate market, legal and otherwise immigrants, long a pillar of growth and home buying, are no longer feeling the warm welcome and optimism necessary for their biggest purchase. I feel like with one stroke of Trump's signature, everything can be taken away. Even all my hard work, said Juan Rodriguez, the 24-year-old whose parents moved from Mexico when he was 7. He now works full-time while earning his college degree. So, remember, he was the undocumented, so he's an illegal too, because he was 7 when they moved. He's an illegal too. I feel like his signature, everything can be taken away, even all my hard work. Well, Juan, when you're in a country illegally, anything you do while you're in the country illegally that you feel you've worked hard for and put into something can be taken away if you get deported because you were here illegally. If you run a red light illegally, you're running a red light, it's illegal, and you smash into another car, it's your fault. But you illegally ran the red light, which caused you to crash into the car, which caused additional damage, right? You see, so if you were not here illegally in the first place, none of the other stuff could have happened. You couldn't have gone through the red light and crashed into somebody. Juan, are you following me? I understand you want to be here. I understand you don't want to go back to Mexico. There's nothing there for you. This is the country people want to come to. I understand. But what happens if there's a lifeboat that can only handle 8 people? Maximum capacity, 8 people. And 15 people are desperately trying to get into that lifeboat. It's not too bad when the 9th guy gets in there. It's just one extra we can squeeze and we can sit on someone's lap. But the rest of them come in, not only are they sitting on other people's lap, making them uncomfortable, they stink. Multiculturalism, different views, different, we don't wear deodorant, whatever. We don't wipe our butt with toilet paper. We wipe our butt with toilet paper, but then we throw it in the trash can. We don't flush it down the toilet. Excuse me? Yeah, anyways. That's a lot of South American people for some reason. But when 15 get in the boat, it capsizes. Now everyone's in trouble. Now everyone's affected. The boat's gone, and now you're all dead. That analogy is, it's fine and dandy when a few slip through the cracks, and they're pitching in, they're working, they're helping, paying taxes even. But when a whole bunch of people come in, and it's too much, then what? Do we say, who cares? Just everyone come on in, everything's fine. You can only handle so many people. And I'm not talking about land mass. We could handle a lot of people here via land mass. We got to host a whole lot more people in this country. It's not about land mass. It's about money. How much does it cost? They're not paying taxes. They're working under the table. They're sucking up all of the health care. On and on and on. It's costing the rest of us an enormous amount of money. That is the point. Certainly, real estate brokers are full of circumstantial evidence to suggest a doomsday scenario is inevitable, but they're somewhat of a conflicted party. The 32-year-old Silicon Valley software engineer from India gave up on buying because Trump had so rattled him and his wife. He moved to the U.S. 7 years ago and decided to become a homeowner after marrying a biomedical engineer from his home country a few months ago. The newlyweds have H-1B visas, a program that technology and other companies rely on to hire 85,000 people each year. We were about to make some offers, he said, but we don't know what news will come out and how that will affect our jobs. I would never, listen to me, pro tip from JSNIP4, as if this is hard to even understand. If you don't live in a country as a resident or legal alien and or resident, you don't buy a house in the country to call your home because you don't legally live there. You're temporary. An H-1B visa is essentially temporary. So this doesn't bother me at all. Matter of fact, thank Mr. whatever your name was, Indian guy, thank Donald Trump for helping you, for saving you from yourself and your stupid decision to buy a house and you're not even a freaking citizen. Mr. Trump, President Trump, thank you. I'm going to thank him for you. And their real estate agent, Namita Shahani, sounds like another Indian friend, said a colleague in her office just had a customer with an H-1B visa pull out of a purchase contract in Fremont, California because of similar concerns. Another H-1B. Same answer. Who would be stupid enough to do that? It's not permanent. You could leave at any time. They can get rid of you. Things can change. You are not a freaking citizen. Don't do something stupid. But I want to be in America. I live in America. And I think the liberals will run things forever and I'll be fine. Only to find out the liberals aren't running things anymore. Now what do I do? Well, now you may want to go back to your home country, to be honest with you. All morning clients have been calling me, she said. That's Shahani. We don't know which way to go, but if Trump keeps making it hard to hire people from overseas, the housing market will take a hit. See my first video today in this series about the housing market and the foreclosures and auctions that are out of control on the map. Connecting dots, you're connecting dots, connect all the blue ones, connect all the red ones. I've never in my life seen that many foreclosures all in an area. And in that area, and I move over to that area, and it's the same. The immigrant housing market is often underappreciated, in part because undocumented workers and the companies that cater to them sometimes like to fly below the radar. That said, according to the Migration Policy Institute, oh, thank God, it's not another association. Jiminy Christmas. Roughly 1/3 of all illegal immigrants in the U.S., own a home either directly or through family and friends. Well, here's the thought. We have how many young kids, student loans out of control, $1.3, $1.4 trillion in debt. How many of them are now back living with their parents? A lot of them. How many of them would love to have a good paying job? All of them. How many of them thought they were going to get a good paying job because they've bought into the commercial on TV about going to college? All of them. And how many don't have jobs? Almost all of them. So if we take out the H-1B people, technology, good paying jobs, and hire some of our own freaking citizens, they'll be the ones who have the money to buy the houses that the H-1B foreigners have. Oh my God, that's where did I come up with this superior knowledge? It just hit me, and I had to say that. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I thought of that. Yeah, a moron could think of that. A freaking monkey could come up with that. Get rid of the foreigners, hire your own people, and pay them the salary you're going to pay those other people, and they'll be buying the houses that you were concerned the H-1B visa people were going to buy, and now they can't buy. Well, guess what? Their job they're leaving, job's up. Come on in. Oh, you're from the U.S. Yeah, come on in. And it's the technology companies who like to pay those people a little less salary than the average American, maybe a lot less. So they want those people. That's our bread and butter. That helps our bottom line. It helps our profit. But you guys are so filthy rich, I don't want to hear it. Hire a freaking American. You idiots. Take care.